We good? I think we're good. Howdy. Welcome to something that I am going to regret. am I going to regret this immensely. This is something I didn't put a lot of thought into. Okay. How's everyone doing, by the way? So, what we're gonna do now is, as the title says of the video, we are going to be reading every book in Skyrim. Let that sink in for a second, okay? Just take a breath. Just take a breath and comprehend what I just said. Yes, we're going to be reading every book in Skyrim. But, of course, this is probably going to be split up into separate streams. because there is a lot of books in Skyrim. I Googled it. I was like, okay, how many are there? How doable is this? And there is immensely more books than I thought there was going to be. So we are going to be reading a lot today, doing as much as we can until we get tired or my daughter needs to go to bed or something. We're going to be reading a lot. But once we hit that limit, we're going to continue it again next week, continue where we left off and keep reading these books. I already got a lot of books in my inventory. I put them all in there with console commands. For my first reading, right? For my first reading stream, I chose books that I haven't read any books in Skyrim other than like 2 or 3. So I was like, okay, I Googled what are the best books to read. And everyone had good answers. You know, there's tons of stuff, tons of suggestions. Everything was Lusty Argonian made because haha, meme, funny. But I chose books that were entertaining. So for this first one, we're doing entertaining books, maybe 1 or 2 more story-driven books, but this one's mainly just going to be fun books, right? For our first reading, I thought the best way to go would be just fun books. Overall books that are seen as entertaining books. I made a new character here. He's going to be our orc librarian we have here. He's going to be the guy reading it to us. I'm not going to be doing voices because my throat would plot my assassination if I did voices for every one of these stories. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. We have a lot of books to get through today. And the thing about Skyrim books is a lot of them are actually very small. Yeah, you have fun watching my Port of Citizens, Clark? Yes, that's very true. Most of the Skyrim books are actually very small. They're only a few pages long, if that. But some of them are much longer. And for some reason, Bethesda thought it was a good idea to make the historical books the long ones. The one where it's just like, in the year of 185V, Master Kreekhawk fought in the Three-Horn War in the hill of whatever. There were many soldiers there who died. Yeah. Those books are like 50 pages long. I don't know what madman did that, but we just chose the fun ones today. Okay? So, here is the selection that I have right now. I have many more already on hold in my phone, so I can put them in whenever we need to. There's a lot of books here. So, what do you guys want to start with? What are we starting with? Yes, we're gonna do these 2, or else no one's gonna shut up until we do these 2, okay? So we're gonna do them today, but I'm not gonna do them first. I'm not starting this off with the Lusty Argonian Maid. I'm not doing that. Where you could start off with something different. We can do these later. These are gonna be later. Okay. So what are your suggestions? Out of this selection here, what do you guys want to hear first? People who know the books. I was thinking a good starting point would probably be Advances in Lockpicking. It's a small one. It's very short, and I heard it's pretty funny. Yellow Book of Riddles. Yeah, the Book of Riddles I heard is pretty fun. The Thief one is actually a part of a 4-series book. There's this 4-series book called Beggar, Thief, Warrior, King. People say those are really good. And that's more of a longer form book, so I'm going to save that for a little bit later, because you have to start with Beggar. You have to start with Beggar, then you move to Thief. By the way, if you hear anything in the noise, my wife and daughter are cooking dinner right now. If you hear any noise in the background, they're cooking dinner, so that's what's going on. Okay, we're going to do Beggar after we do Advances in Lockpicking. I think the best way to go is Advances in Lockpicking. It's short, it's sweet, and Wabbajack, yes, Wabbajack is a good one. I heard Wabbajack is really funny. It's about like a person who's going mad while writing. So we're starting off with this one. Advances in Lockpicking by Unknown. My mic is in the way of the book. I did not think this through. One moment, let me rearrange my microphone. Okay. By the way, I have bad eyesight, so if you hear me stumbling my words, I apologize, but we're going to get through this. We're going to read this and then talk about what we thought of the book. And then we're going to be ranking them 1 out of 10 because I'm going to be ranking the books. That's what this whole thing is for, is by the time we read all the books, I'm going to rank the books from worst to best. But we have to start somewhere, so we're going to read them all together, rank them 1 to 10, and then I'm going to make a video ranking them later. Okay, so. 1 second, please. What's up? My daughter wants bubbles while they're cooking. Okay. You don't speak English very well? I'll read them. I'll read it. I'm reading it right here. Okay, so this is Advances in Lockpicking, the first book by an unknown writer. I am not a writer. I am a thief. I am a good thief. I am not such a good writer. Anyway, I wanted to write about picking locks. I read a book about designing locks once. It was good. It gave me lots of ideas. Okay, we're starting off very, very boring. Okay. Some guys makes locks with angled keyholes. Always carry a bent lockpick. They will work good in these locks. I do, and I open lots of locks. So this guy's just not a good writer. Is that the whole point of it? People recommended this. Like on the recommendations, people were like, Advances in Lockpicking, it's pretty good. Is it just the whole point of it is this guy is really not a good writer and he just writes like a child? Sometimes I carry copper lockpicks. Copper bends easy. That way, I can bend it right there. Copper lockpicks break easy too. Be careful. Sometimes the locks have weird springs. They all spring differently, which makes picking it hard. I hold my torch close to the lock. This makes it hot. When it's hot, the springs are all the same. When it's hot, the springs are all the same. Okay? They don't bounce so differently anymore. Be careful not to burn yourself. Some thieves can't read. If you can't read, get someone to read this book to you. It will make it more sense then. Okay, this was like a 2. That last one brought it up to like a 5. I think this is a good candidate for middle road, a 5 out of 5, right? It wasn't just a historical reading. And the whole point of it is it's like a child writing it. And the last paragraph is pretty funny, right? So Advances in Lockpicking, I think, is just like maybe a 5. Like, really, it's not good. The whole point of it is that it's not good. Yes, he is a good thief. I know. Like, I don't really see the appeal of it. People are talking like it's actually a very good book. I don't see the appeal. How is this appealing? It's just a book written by like a child. Except the last paragraph is actually pretty funny. Other than that, it's not really that good. Howdy, wife.
Howdy.
How's it going?
You know you have gummies attached to the back of your door?
Yes, our daughter got into Lifesavers, bit off the end of them so they got sticky, and then stuck them all to my door. She thought it'd be pretty funny, I think.
Hi.
Howdy. We read this one. It was not very good.
What are you, you're reading the book?
Yes. The last paragraph is pretty funny. This is about how to pick lockpicks.
Uh-huh.
Read the last paragraph out loud.
Okay, careful not to burn yourself.
No, this right here.
Oh, some thieves can't read. If you can't read, get someone to read this book to you. It will make more sense then.
It's the only part of the book that's at all decent. People are saying this is a good book, but it's not. It's not a good book.
You want Jonah to come say hi?
Sure, why not? People are saying 3. I gave it like a 5. It's not really that good. What are we doing next?
Come say hi.
I think a good one probably the Wabbajack would be a good one next. It's about a man going crazy while writing. Doesn't even have an author. It's just straight up Wabbajack. Hi. Say hi.
Hi.
Are you cooking?
Cookie.
You got bubbles? Mama got you bubbles.
Okay, come on. Let's leave him alone.
Okay. Wabbajack. Let's go ahead and read this. We'll give it a ranking out of 10 when we're done reading this, all right? By the way, there's some things in my inventory that I can't get rid of because they're quest items. We're not reading those. Little boys shouldn't summon up the forces of eternal darkness unless they have an adult supervising. I know. But on that sunny night, on the 5th of first seed, I didn't want an adult. I wanted Hermanus Mara, the Daedra of knowledge, learning, gums, Gums? Varnishes? Gums and varnishes? Is that a real thing? I know this is supposed to be written by like a crazy person, but... Yeah, y'all are all saying hi to her. Yeah, she ran back in there to cook. You see, I was told by a beautiful, large-breasted man who lived under the library in my town that the fifth of the first seed was Harumsmara's night. And if I wanted the Ogma Infinium, the Book of Knowledge, I had to summon him. When you're the new king of solitude, every bit of knowledge helps. Okay, yeah, this is already great. This is already 10 times better than that crappy lockpicking book. Normally, you need witches, coven, or a mage's guild, or at least matching pillowcases and sheets to invoke a Prince of Oblivion. The man under the library showed me how to do it myself. He told me to wait until the storm was at its height before shaving the cat. Before shaving the cat, okay? I've forgotten the rest of the ceremony. It doesn't matter. All that matters is shaving the cat. Okay, this is pretty good. I like it. Someone appeared who I thought was Harumsmara. The only thing that made me somewhat suspicious was Harumsmara, from what I read, was a big, blobbly, multi-eyed, clawed monstrosity, and the guy looked like a waistcoated banker. Also, he kept calling himself Sheogorath. We got Sheogorath instead. That's a pretty big deal, right? Hermamora. Oh, it's supposed to be Hermamora, and he's writing it wrong. So the whole point, he's even writing it wrong. Okay, so he got Sheogorath instead of Harumsmara, I know he's spelling it wrong, but still. Still, I was so happy to have successfully summoned Harumsmara. These incantations did not bother me. He had me do some things that didn't make any sense to me beyond the mortal scope. Breathe and can, I suppose. No, yeah. And then his servant happily gave me something he called the Wabbajack, 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 Wabbajack. Maybe the Wabbajack is the book of knowledge. Maybe I'm smarter because I know cats can be bats, can be rats, can be bats, can be gnats, can be that's, can be thises. And that door can be bores, can be snores, can be floors, can be roars, can be spores, can be yours, can be mine. I must be smart, for the inconnective system is very clear to me. Then why or whereabout do people keep calling me mad? Wabbajack, Wabbajack, Wabbajack. This is like a 9. This is like a 10, right? This is like a 10 out of 10. This is amazing. Compared to the lockpicking one, which literally sucked, I don't know why people said that one's good. This is like a 10 out of 10, right? At least a 9. This is like at least a 9. One sec, I'm writing down the score. I'm going to say 9 or a 10. Compared to the other one, this was amazing, right? Yeah, 9 out of 10. You say 9? Yeah, okay, I know I mispronounced the name. My bad. I know it's very differently. Seems perfectly sane to me. Isn't that right, Clark? Seems like something a totally normal person would write. Withershins. From what I understand, Withershins is about a guy who's like very sick and he wants to cure himself. So like he's trying to learn how to cure himself. But instead of doing that one, let's do that one after the Book of Riddles. I think that the Book of Riddles would be a fun one to do next, right? We will not accept this audience's and lockpicking slander. Dude, the lockpicking book wasn't very good. I'm sorry to say. Like, I know the whole point is the guy's an idiot and he writes like a child. But it just wasn't... The last paragraph was the only entertaining part of the entire story. Hi there, baby.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, bye. She ran in, said hi, and ran out. That's cool. A Gentleman's Guide to Whiterun. A Gentleman's Guide to Whiterun is the one written by Mikhail, and I would rather burn that book than read it, but we're going to have to read it eventually. I'm going to be splitting it in different parts. Renata Mari. They ask if I'm doing it all right now or splitting it into parts. Splitting it into parts because I'm going to be reading as much as I can today until my daughter gets tired or whatever. The Book of Alduin is real. Yes, I'm doing that one. After I'm going to do this one, then the Wither one about the guy who's sick and trying to cure himself, and then we're going to do the Alduin book. That one's pretty good. Okay, here's the Yellow Book of Riddles. That's an F. Yeah, that does not look like an F, but that's supposed to be an F. For earnest pleasure and the strengthening of the mind, the author here collects all that he has learned of the art of riddling. By what letter is that supposed to be? What is that supposed to be, a D? Yeah, that's supposed to be a D. That does not look like a D. By dint of delight, study, and through years of discourse with others of similar inclination. This is going to be hard on my bad eyes. I'm telling you right now, buddy. Yeah, it's a riddle of itself because my eyes are so freaking bad I can't see it. Okay. The posing and... Those are threes. What are those supposed to be? Puzzle? Oh, those are supposed to be Z's. Those are supposed to be Z's. This is... Okay. The posing and puzzling of riddles is a convention of polite... aristocratic Western society. Nobles and social aspirants collect books of riddles and study them, hoping thereby to increase the chances of their appearing sly and witty in conversation. I hate this book. I hate it. I feel like I'm reading a book in like high school or something. Like they make it needlessly complicated. I hate it. Okay. Okay, here's the first riddle. We're finally on the first riddle. Okay. A metal neither black nor red, as heavy as man's golden greed. What to do ahead with friends or arrows or steed? I'm going to actually try to figure this out. A metal neither black nor red, as heavy as man's golden greed. So heavy metal, not black or red. What you do to stay ahead with friends of arrows or steed? Horseshoe? No. Oh, I seen the answer by accident. It's lead. Oh, crap. I seen the answer by accident. Okay, the answer is lead. Next one. A man says, if you lie to me, I will slay you with my sword. If you tell me the truth, I will slay you with a spell. What must you say to stay alive? Nothing. You just don't say anything, right? That's supposed to be the answer. You just don't say anything. Right? I mean, if you lie to me, I will slay you with my sword. If you tell me the truth, I will slay you with a spell. What must you do to stay alive? You don't say anything. Okay, it says you will. The answer is you will. I'm trying to have you read it backwards. You will slay me with a sword. You will slay me. The answer is you will slay me with a sword. What? Tell me a lie, I'll slay you with a sword. That doesn't make sense. Am I just an idiot? Okay, next one. As Bosmer was slain, the Altmer claims that Dunmer is guilty. The Dunmer says the Khajiit did it. The Orc swears he didn't kill the Bosmer. The Khajiit says that Dunmer is lying. If only one of these speak the truth, who killed the Bosmer? If only one of them speaks the truth, who killed the Bosmer? Okay. The Orc. Okay, we're just the Orc. Okay, I'm not going to sit here for 10 years staring at it. The answer is the Orc. I'm sorry. So that was the Yellow Book of Riddles. It's like a 6. No, it's like a 6.5 maybe. I mean, there's nothing really extravagant about it. It's like a 6.5. I mean, it didn't blow me away. It's just riddles in the beginning made me want to have a stroke. Okay. Can someone explain the thing about how that one didn't make any sense? It says it'll slay you with a sword. That makes no sense. I don't get it. Okay, so Withershins. Restoration increase. There we go, buddy. Withershins by Yagit Tawashi. Okay. Now, so And I'm not going to be reading all the books today. Someone just asked again. I'm reading as much as I can today, and we're going to continue it again later. We're just reading away, knocking out it side by side. Immortal Blood is really good. I'll read Immortal Blood 7. Y'all giving it 7s? I gave it a 6.5. It was all right. Okay, let's get started. Withershins. All right, said Hazaga. All right, said Hazaga. Why don't you want to talk? What is that supposed to be? Baki? Baki put down his mug of mead and just stared at his wife for a few seconds. Finally, grudgingly, because everything I have a conversation, darling. Because everything I have a conversation? Because everything I have a conversation, darling, it flows in alphabetical order. Just like I told you. I think the only way to stop it is not to talk at all. So he's saying he has to talk in alphabetical order? It flows in alphabetical order. Okay. Couldn't you just be imagining this? Said Hazaga patiently. It wouldn't be the first time you had an insane paranoid delusion. Remember when you thought the royal battle mage of Blackmarsh was hiding behind every tree with lewd intent? Lewd intent on making you a middle-aged, fat, balding tailor into his personal sex slave. Okay, that took a turn I was not expecting it to take. Very spicy. It's getting fun. Okay. You don't need to be ashamed, but it's Shia Gorath's way to make us all crazy sometimes. If you go to the healer, dang it, Hazaga, snarled Baki, and stomping out, slamming the door behind him. He nearly coiled with Syasat, his neighbor. He nearly collided with Syasat, his neighbor. Excuse me, she said to Baki's back. He clamped his hands over his ears as he stormed down the street. Turning the corner to his tailor shop, his first customer was waiting out front, smiling widely. Baki tried to keep his temper under control and took out his keys, returning the customer's smile. Fine day, said the young man. Gods, hollered Baki, sending the young man flying with a well-placed punch and dashing away. Okay, that got a legitimate chuckle out of me. As much as he hated to admit that Hazaga was right, it was evidently time, once again, for one of the healer's herbal cocktails. Tarsu's Temple. Tarsil's Temple to Health, mental and physical, was several streets north, an impressive obelisk. Halga, the chief herbalist, met him before he came to the hall. How are you today? Sabaki? Oh, it's like Sabaki. Saf? I need to make an appointment with Tarsu, said Baki in his calmest voice. Yeah, I'm just kind of reading at this point. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are kind of getting bored, but that's the point of this stream is we're reading the book. This is just a longer book. Just one moment. Let me see how his schedule looks. Halga said, looking over the scroll. Is this an emergency? Kind of, said Baki, and slapped his head. Why couldn't you say yes, or obviously, or sure? So he has to say... I'm confused on what his curse is. Whatever. Let's see, says Halga, frowning. The best I can do is next Midas. Would that work for you? Midas, cried Baki. I'll be completely psychotic by Midas. Isn't there anything earlier? He knew what the answer would be. He knew what the answer would be before she said it. There we go. Finally got it out. This is a long book. I tried to get shorter books for this one, but this is a long book. Okay. People calm down. Calm down in the chat, please. I get it. A paper cut to the knee. Very, very clever. Very clever. Okay, back to the book. There was no alternative. In a way, he had forced the response. If only he had kept the conversation going until why? No, said Hogla. I'm sorry. Do you want me to make the appointment? Baki walked away, gritting his teeth. He wandered the streets, his head down to avoid all conversation, until he looked up and discovered that he had walked all the way to the wharf. Wharf? Okay. A sweet breeze was blowing along the water, and he took several deep breaths until he felt almost normal. When his temper cooled, he could think again. What if this alphabetical conversation wasn't a delusion at all? What if what he had felt wasn't paranoia or acute awareness? He knew it was the classic dilemma. Am I crazy, or is there really something weird going on? The classic dilemma. We all go through it, right? Okay. Across the road was a shop called Paradox, featuring a display of herbs, crystals, and vapors draped in orbs. The sign in the window read, Mystical Consolation, Sunrise to Noon. It was worth a shot, though Baki was dubious. The only people who generally came down the waft for healing were stupid adventurers who didn't know any better. Incense burned in copious billows of pink and gold, obscuring and then revealing the clutter within. Jijik death. Is that supposed to be Jijik? Jijik death masks glowed down from the walls. Smoking censers hung by chains from the ceiling, and the floor was a maze of bookshelves. At the well-worn table in the back, a small man wearing a headdress was tabulating a young lady's purchases. Holy crap, this is a long book. It's so long. Okay, said the man. Your total comes to 57 gold pieces. I threw in the restorative scale conditioner for free. Just remember, the candle should be lit only after you invoke Gorofox the Unholy, and Mondrock Root does best in partial shade. I would never, ever, ever do any of what that was supposed to be. The customer gave a quick, shy smile to Baki and left the store. Please help me, said Baki. Every conversation I hear or get involved in seems to be arranged alphabetically. I don't know if I'm going insane or if there is some kind of bizarre forces at work. To be honest with you, I'm normally a skeptic when it comes to types of business, but I'm at the end of my rope. Can you do anything to make this madness end? Oh, so when they talk to him, they go in alphabetical order. They start a sentence with the alphabetical order. Is that how it works? Quite a common problem. Actually, said the man, patting Baki on the arm. When you get to the end of the alphabet, do conversations then go in reverse alphabetical order or start at the beginning of the alphabet? Reverse alphabetical order, said Baki, and then corrected himself. Dang it! I mean, it starts at the beginning all over again. I'm in agony. Okay, so that started with an R, and this one started with an E. That's not okay. Whatever. I don't get what he's cursed by. I don't get it. I don't quite get what it means when it says it goes in alphabetical order if it's not actually going in alphabetical order. Can you call it on the spirits and tell me am I insane? Sariki, said the man with a reassuring smiley. Okay, whatever. I don't have to. You're quite sane. Thank you, said Baki, frowning. By the way, my name is Baki, not Saraki. Unusually close, eh? Said the man, patting Baki on the back. My name is Octoplasma. Follow me, please. I think we have just what you need. Holy crap, this is such a long book. This is such a long book. Okay. Octoplasma led Baki down the narrow corridor behind the desk. The two men pushing past dusty cabinets filled with strange creatures in liquids. Okay. Past heaps of Neolithic stones, past stack after stacks of moldering leather-bound books, into a dank heart of the store, my bad. There he picked up a small, squat, cylindrical drum and a book and handed them to Baki. Vampirism, Daedric possession, and withershin therapy, said Baki, squinting his eyes to read the books in the gloom. What in oblivion does this have to do with me? I'm not a vampire. Look at this tan. And what's withershin therapy? And how much will it cost me? Withershins, from the old Cyrillic withershins, which means backwards, said Octoplasma in a serious tone. It's the art of reversing the direction of things, and in order to gain access to the spirit world and break curses, curse vampirism, and trigger all manner of apotropac healing, whatever. You know the story about the guy who was told that the slaughterfish live in hot water, so he said, "Well, let's boil them in cool water." Xenophis, said Baki. This is hard. Oh my gosh, I'm starting to get my eyes are starting to mess with me. Instinctively, his brother, having taken a rather esoteric upper-level course in Cyrillic philosophy as an elective in the Imperial College 31 years before, and immediately wishing he hadn't, and what do you do with the Cyrillic thingy? Okay, Octoplasma lit a candle and held the object over it so Baki could see more clearly. All along the cylinder were narrow slits, and when Baki... Holy crap, this is such a long book! Oh, mercy on me. Okay, we can do this. And when Baki peered within them, he saw a succession of old black and white drawings of a naked man leaping over boxes, one frame after the next. You spin it like so, said Octoplasma, slowly whirling the device clockwise so that the man within leapt over the boxes over and over again. It's called a zeotrope. Pretty neat, eh? Now you take it and start spinning it counterclockwise, and while you're doing it, read the incarnations I've marked in the book. Baki took the zeotrope and began spinning it counterclockwise over the candle, so that the little naked man within seemed to bound backwards over the boxes. It took a little coordination and concentration to keep whirling at a steady pace, but gradually the man's awkward and janky back jumps became more and more fluid until Baki could no longer see the individual frames flipping. It looked just like a little humanoid hamster on an endless reverse treadmill. While it continued to spin the zeotrope with one hand, Baki took the book in the other and read the underlined passage. Zeotrope counterspin, counterspin, counterspin. Pull my life from the rut that it is in. I invoke the goddesses Bealthea, whatever, kind of to invert my potentially metaphysical crisis. My old life may have been rather pointless and plain, but I dislike the prospect of going insane. Making the pattern reversed by the withershin, zeotrope counterspin, counterspin, counterspin. As he chanted the spell, Baki noticed that a little naked man in the zeotrope began to look more like himself. The mustache vanished and the hairline receded. The man's waistline expanded and the buttocks sagged to the shape of a texture of a half-inflated balloons. Scales approximating his own Argonian pattern appeared. This guy's an Argonian? I was imagining him like as a fat old Nord. Is he an Argonian? He's an Argonian. I just picked up on that. Let me take a look at my voice a second for a break here. Yeah, I'm reading the Alduin one next. This one's just taking forever. Okay, so this guy's an Argonian. We know that now. The man began to trip as he bounded backwards over the boxes, taking bigger breaths and sweating. By the time Baki reached the end of the incarnation, the twin was clutching his chest and trembling end over end over the boxes in a free fall. Octoplasma took the Zeotrope and the book from Baki's hands. Nothing seemed to have changed. No thunder had rumbled, no winged serpents had sprung out in Baki's heads, no fiery explosions, but Baki felt that something was different. Good different. Normal. My dog's barking, by the way. Something happened. Whatever. At the counter, when Baki pulled out his satchel of gold pieces, Octoplasma merely shook his head. Our treatments are... My dog's barking. 1 second. Whew, sorry about that. My dog was barking. Okay, so we're at the part where he says, our treatments are radical, such as affects term long of what sure be can't be what? Our treatments radical such of effects term long and what sure be can't we normally change no. Feeling the first real relief he had felt in days, Baki walked backwards out of the shop and down the road to his shop. What? So he lives in a world where everything's backwards? Is that... Oh my gosh, this is a 10 out of 10. What? Oh, this is like a 10 out of 10. I just got it. The whole point is that they live in a backwards world. That's why everything was normal, but they were saying it's wrong. And at the end, you finally realize that they live in a backwards world. That's a 10 out of 10. Holy crap, Skyrim battle music plays. Yeah. Dude, I'm literally blown. That's freaking incredible. I just got that. They had us in the first half, not gonna lie. Sorry, I had to take a drink, my throat's starting to hurt, but dude, let's read it again. No, I'm not doing that. That's a long book. Dude, that's a 10. I'm giving that a 10. That's just straight up a 10 out of 10. That book was so good. Looking back on it, the twist made the whole book good. Before I thought it wasn't very that good, but then the twist comes in and you're like, whoa, wait. And you rethink the entire book and you're like, oh, that's why everything was like that. Restoration +1, yeah, definitely. So, we're reading Alduin is Real. Where's that at? Could have swore I put it in. Oh, wait, I have it on my phone. One moment. I have a few extra books on my phone. I got a few more books on my phone that I got typed the codes in for, and I don't have their names because I suck. Well, yeah, I do. One moment. We're going to read Alduin is Real. Here it is. EA 5B01. There we go. Alduin is Real. Yeah, I had it ready to go because people said it was a very good one. Where is it? Alduin is Real. This one's supposed to be about a crazy man who predicted that Alduin would come back before he actually came back. Read it again backwards. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Okay. My throat is already about to send an assassin to my door. I think I've read 4. Let me double check. Yes, I've read 4 so far. We've read Advances in Lockpicking, The Wabbajack, Yellow Books of Riddles, and Withershins. And now we are on Alduin is Real. Oh, I didn't read the author. Alduin is Real, and he Ent Akatosh? Is that an E? And he Ent Akatosh by Thromagar Ironhead, a proud Nord. Of course he's proud Nord, because Nords are freaking proud. Yeah, so far we've read Withershins, Advances in Lockpicking, The Wabbajack, and Yellow Book of Riddles. The best one, by far, without a doubt, is Withershins. Withershins was really good. Wabbajack was also very, very entertaining. Yellow Book of Riddles was okay. Advances in Lockpicking, I did not like. The ending of Advances in Lockpicking was pretty good, but Advances in Lockpicking overall, I just found not entertaining. So now, we're on Alduin is Real. As my Da used to say, Imperials are idiots. Oh, and he misspelled idiots. Okay, I can see where this is going. Okay, that is why I am reading... Okay, I see the point of it. the guy can't write. He misspells everything. This is why I am writing this book. I ain't ever wrote a book before, and I do not reckon to write one again. But sometimes a man must do what a man must do, and what I must do is set the record straight about the god called Akatosh and the dragon called Alduin. They ain't the same thing. No matter what them Imperials might say, or how they might wish it to be so, my da was never one for the gods, but my ma was. She worshipped all the divines and taught me lots of things. So I know a thing or two about Akatosh. Just as much as any Imperial. I know he was the first of all the gods to take shape in the beginning place. And I know he has the... Oops, wrong direction. I know he has the shape of a dragon. My da even told me the story of Martin Septim. Martin Septim, that's the guy from Oblivion, right? And the things what happened when the gates of Oblivion opened. Yeah, that's from Oblivion. They're calling back to Oblivion. That's cool. I like that. Septim turned into the spirit of Akatosh and killed Maroon's Dagon. He did not kill Maroon's Dagon. He sent him back to Oblivion, but you can't kill Maroon's Dagon, whatever. Now, I don't know about you, but any dragon that fights the Prince of Destruction is okay by me. Now, I hope you understand the problem. Akatosh is good. Everyone from Nord and Imperial knows that. But Alduin, he ain't no good. He ain't good. He's the opposite of good. That Alduin is evil through and through. So you see, Akatosh and Alduin can't be one and the same. Growing up as a lad in Skyrim, I heard all the stories told to me by my da, who was told by his da, who was told by his da, and so on. And one of those stories was about Alduin. But see, he was not Akatosh. He was another dragon, and a real one at that. So it's just about like a backwater idiot writing a story about how Alduin is evil, and he's not. Okay, this is somewhat entertaining. I kind of like this. I like the unique writing. I get it. I like it. The dog's quiet. Yeah, the dog's calmed down. Sorry about that. My dog, I don't know what he was barking at. As soon as I opened the door, he stopped barking. Okay. Akatosh is some kind of spirit dragon, I think, when he bothers to be a dragon at all, and not a god living in some kind of god place like Oblivion. Oh, that's a princey, okay. But Alduin is a real dragon with flesh and teeth and a mean streak longer than the White River. And there was a time when Alduin tried to rule over all of Skyrim with his other dragons. In the end, it took some mighty strong heroes to finally kill Alduin and be done with his whole sorry story. So I got to ask. This kind of works with my accent, doesn't it? My hick accent. This whole story just kind of works with that accent, right? It's written by me. Ha, ha, ha. Very funny. Someone made the joke right when I said it. So I got to ask. Does that sound like Akatosh to you? No, friend. No, it do not. And so, I, Thormagar Ironhead, do firmly say with the utmost conviction, he spelled it with S-H-E, conviction, that Alduin is real. And he ain't Akatosh. That's like an 8, right? That's like a 7.5 or an 8. That's pretty good. I like that. Alduin is real. I like it. It's like a solid 7.5. That's, it wasn't funny. It didn't have a great twist at the end. It didn't have an entertaining story to tell. But I didn't hate reading it. I had a fun time reading it for the most part. I give it like a 7.5. Longbrow's presence made the dog go silent, pretty much, yeah. Or he looked at me and started wagging his tail because I think he thought I was going to start petting him, and he got really disappointed when I shut the door again. But okay. Here comes the daughter running down the road. And she stopped. Okay. So, I gave it a 7.5. I think it ain't great. It doesn't have a great ending, but it's entertaining enough. So far we've read Advances in Lockpicking, we gave it a 5 out of 10. Wabbajack, we gave it a 9 out of 10. Yellow Book of Riddles, we gave it a 6.5 out of 10. The Withershins we gave at a 10 out of 10. And Alduin is Real we gave a 7.5 out of 10. Now, next book. What do we feel like reading? The Kolb and the Dragon. I heard this one is basically a choose your own adventure game inside of Skyrim. But I think maybe we should do the Surfeit of Thieves. I heard this one's entertaining. I got lockpicking. I heard the Surfeit of Thieves is actually pretty entertaining. Iron Hand was an actual... I wish Iron Hand was an actual character. That'd be pretty great. You can finally go to bed. All right, good night, PM. You've read your night story. Can you rank every single alchemy ingredient, please? I promise it won't take that long. Dude, I don't want to die. I'm already doing the books. Man. Okay. Let's do this. Which one is this again? Which one is this again? This is the Surfeit of Thieves by Anis Noru. Okay. This looks interesting. It said Indike. I'm gonna call him Indike. This looks interesting, said Indike, his eyes narrowing and observing the black caravan making its way to the spires of the secluded castle. A gaudy alien coat of arms marked each carriage. The lacquer glistened in the light of the moons. Who do you suppose they are? They're obviously well off, smiled his partner Hariah. Okay, perhaps some new imperial cult dedicated to the acquisition of wealth. Go into town and find out what you can about the castle, said Indike. I'll see if I can learn anything about who those strangers are. We meet at the hill tomorrow night. Hariah had two great skills, picking locks and picking information. By the dusk of the following day, he had returned to the hill. Indike joined her an hour later. The place is called Ald Olira, she explained. It dates back to the Second Era when a collection of nobles built it to protect themselves during one of the epidemics. They didn't want any of the diseased masses to get into their midst and spread the plague, and they built up quite a sophisticated security system for that time. Of course, it's mostly fallen into ruin, but I have a good idea about what kind of locks and traps might still be operational. What did you find out? I wasn't nearly so successful, frowned Indike. No one seemed to have any idea about the group, even that they were here. I was about to give up, but at the charter house, I met a monk who said that his masters were a hermetic group called the Order of Saint Idnua. I talked to him for some time. This fellow name of Paratheon, and it seems they're having some sort of ritual feast tonight. This book is hard to read. It's like reading just an actual book. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm reading a book in a game. It feels like I'm just reading a book. You know what I mean? It just feels like a book. Ugh. I already read Alduin is Real, man. Sorry, man. The Fourth Horseman. Sorry about that, bud. Yeah, we just read that before this one, so you can probably rewind the stream. And we just read that one right before this one. We gave it a 7.5 out of 10. It was pretty good. Okay. Are they wealthy? Asked Hariah impatiently. Embarrassingly so, according to the fellow. Embarrassingly so, according to the fellow. But they're at the castle for tonight. I have my picks on me. Winked Hariah. Opportunity has smiled on us. She drew a diagram of the castle in the dirt. The main hall and the kitchen were near the front gate, and the stables and security armory were in the back. The thieves had a system that never failed. Hariah would find a way into the castle and collect as much loot as possible, while Indike provided the distraction. He waited until his partner had scaled the wall before rapping on the gate. Roping on the whatever. Perhaps this time he would be perhaps this time he would be a bard, or at least a lost adventurer. The details most fun to improvise. Gosh dang, can you tell I'm not that great at reading when I have such bad eyes, dude. I am from Oklahoma, dude, and I sound like it. Okay. Horiah heard Indike talking to the woman who came to the gate, but she was too far away to hear the words exchanged. He was evidently successful. A moment later, she heard the door shut. The man had charm. She would give him that. Howdy, wife.
Sorry for being loud.
No, that's fine.
It was hard keeping her quiet while cooking.
It's good. We've read a handful of books, and some of them were good, some of them were really bad. Right now we're reading one about two thieves trying to break into a castle.
Are you reading it?
Mm-hmm.
So you're reading like Turtle?
I'm a horrible reader. Don't make fun of me. I have really bad eyes. They said I'm doing good.
Yeah, you are.
I'm really not. I really suck at
teasing you.
this. This feels like a book, yeah. Okay, you read it then. Start right here.
Okay.
Here goes.
Only a few of the traps and locks to the armory had been set. Undoubtedly, many of the keys had been lost in time. Whatever servants had been in charge of securing the Order's treasures had brought a few new locks to affix.
Affix, I guess.
Affix. It took extra time to maneuver the intricate hasp and bolts of the new traps before proceeding to the old but still working systems. Peace, I'm out.
Bro, you read better than me. Start here. But.
What?
Go,
But,
just read to right here at least.
is that an H?
Yeah, Horiah.
But Horiah found her heart beating with anticipation. Whatever lay beyond the door, she thought, must be of sufficient value to merit such protection. When at last the door swung quietly open, the thief found her voracious?
Sorry, I was looking at the chat. What?
Voracious?
Yeah, I guess so.
Dreams spelled to reality. A mountain of golden treasure, ancient relics, glimmering with untapped magicka, weaponry of matchless quality, and gemstones. Okay.
They said hi, by the way.
Hi.
Longbrow is trying to escape reading. Dude, my throat is sending an assassin to my house.
Read it?
My throat is already literally on the brink of dying.
The size of her fist. Row after row of strange potions and stacks of valuable documents and scrolls. She was so enthralled by the sight, she did not hear the man behind her approach. "You must be Lady
Tressed,"
said the voice, and she jumped. It was a monk in a black hooded robe, intricately, I know this word,
intricately.
Yeah, woven with silver and gold threads. For a moment, she could not speak. This was a sort of encounter that... Y'all killing me with these names. Indike loved, but she could think, to do nothing but nod her head with what she hoped looked like certainty.
So that was... Indike is her partner, so Indike is the one who came to her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Indike scared her. Got it.
"I'm afraid I'm a little lost," she stammered. "I can see that," the man laughed.
Oh, that wasn't Indike. Indike likes when stuff like that happens. Okay, go ahead.
"That's the armory. I'll show you the way to the dining hall. We were afraid. You weren't going to arrive. The feast is nearly over." Horiah followed the monk across the courtyard to the double doors leading to the dining hall. A robe identical to the one he was wearing hung on a hook outside, and he handed it to her with a knowing smile. She slipped it on. She mimicked him as she lowered the hood over her head and entered the hall.
It's gonna be a cult. This is gonna be a cult.
Torches illuminated the figures within around the large table. Each wore the uniform black robe that covered all features, and from the look of things, the feast was over. Empty plates, platters, and glasses filled every inch of the wood with only the faintest spots and dribbles of the food remaining. It was a breaking of a fast, it seemed. For a moment, Horiah stopped to think about poor, lost Lady... Sorry, I can't... What's that word?
Lady Tressed.
Tressed?
Who?
Had missed her opportunity for gluttony. Does this sound like the Bible? It
Sounds like a story from the Bible, yeah.
Yeah, because it said, like, it looked like the end of fasting, which when you fast, you don't eat, so
yeah.
you would just, like, eat everything in sight.
Yeah, it sounds pretty accurate.
The only unusual item on the
They said they aren't just like monks.
Oh.
But they're probably a cult, considering this is the book in Skyrim.
The only unusual item on the table was its centerpiece, a huge golden hourglass which was on its last minute's worth of sand.
So that's probably the fasting time.
Mm-hmm. Though each person looked alive, some were sleeping, some were chatting merrily to one another, and one was playing a lute. Indike's lute, she noticed, and then noticed Indike's ring on the man's finger. Hariah was suddenly grateful for the anonymity. What?
Anonymity, that means they don't know who she is.
Of the hood.
They ate him.
What?
I bet they ate him. Perhaps Indikes would not realize that it was she who had been blundered. Tresed,
said the young man to the assembled, who turned as one to her and burst into applause. The conscious members of the order arose to kiss her hand and introduced themselves. I'll let you take care of this.
Nidla, Sualek, Kyler. The names got stronger. Tonyop, Hitilist, Nohitarop. Okay.
She could not help laughing. I understand. It's all backwards. Your real names are...
Aldrin, Celis, Relike, Poinot, Stillith, and Parathion.
Do you know those names, or are you just guessing?
Parathion. I have no idea. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, sound good. Of course, said the young man. Won't you have a seat? Say, giggled Hariah, getting into the spirit of the mask and taking an empty chair. I suppose that when the hourglass runs out, the backwards names go back to normal. That's correct, Tresed, said the woman next to her. It's just one of our order's little amusements. This castle seemed like the appropriately ironic venue for our feast, devised as it was to shun the plague victims who were, in their way, a walking dead.
Okay. Go ahead.
Hariah felt herself lightheaded from the odor of the torches and bumped into the sleeping man next
to her. They're putting her to sleep.
Oh, my
They're going to eat her.
He fell face forward into the table. Poor Esrock Srif, said a neighboring man, helping to prop the body up. He's given us so much. Hariah stumbled to her feet and began walking uncertainly for the front gate. Where are you going, Tresed? Asked one of the figures, his voice taking on an unpleasant, mocking quality. My name isn't Tresed, she mumbled, gripping Indike's arm. I'm sorry, partner. We need to go. The last crumb of sand fell in the hourglass as the man pulled back his hood. It was not Indike. It was not even human, but a stretched grotesquerie of a man with hungry eyes and a wide mouth filled with tusk-like fangs. Hariah fell back into the chair of the figure they called Ruick
Srif.
His hood fell open, revealing the pallid, bloodless face of Indike. As she began to scream, they fell on her. In her last living moment, Hariah finally spelled Tresed backwards.
Dessert.
Oh my gosh.
What do you give that 1 out of 10? That's like a 9.
It was. How'd you on your test? What, I mean.
Yeah, one of them that I read earlier, a guy was like, he said he was sick, right? And he was like, I'm sick. Everything is in alphabetical order. He's like, everything is going in alphabetical order. So he goes to this guy and he makes him do like this, this like thing to kill himself. And at the end of it, they all start talking weirdly. They're like a backwards world, and they were talking normal, and so he had to get back to speaking backwards. Doesn't make sense when I say it out loud, but if you read the book, it makes sense. It was very good. That's like a 9. That's pretty funny. Maybe in a minute.
Okay.
So what's this one called? I get that like a 9. That was good, right? The Surfeit of Thieves.
For sure.
I give that like that one's entertaining. I like that one. That was good. 10 out of 10. I was saying 10. Yeah, that's a good one. I give that one a 9. She did good. She's a way better reader than me. Okay. Should we just go ahead and get it out of the way? I feel like we should just go ahead and get it out of the way. I feel like it's time to go ahead and get this out of the way. Right. I know y'all guys are waiting for it. And I don't want to have to... Okay, let's just... Reading this out loud is gonna hurt me internally. The Lusty Argonian Maid, Volume 1, by Crasius Corio. Oh, Crasius Corio, how you have cursed this world we live in. Okay, y'all are getting a little too excited. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Act 4, Scene 3 continued. Lifts her tail, speaks. Certainly not, kind sir. I am here but to clean your chambers. Crantius Calto, who is her master, I assume. Is that all you have come here for, little one? My chambers? I have no idea what it is you imply, master. I am but a poor Argonian maid. So you are, my dumpling, and a good one at that. Such long legs and shapely tail. You embarrass me, sir. Fear not, you are safe here with me. I must finish my cleaning, sir. The mistress will have my head if I do not. Cleaning? Cleaning, eh? I have something for you here. Polish my spear. But it is huge. It could take me all night. Plenty of time, my sweet. Plenty of time. End of Act 4, Scene 3. Okay. That one's done. Let's go ahead and do part 2. Let's go ahead and do part 2 out of the way. Okay, time. Let's just get part 2 out of the way, please. Okay. Act 4 or Act 7, Scene 2 continued. My goodness, there's quite a loaf, but however shall I fit my oven? This loaf isn't ready for baking, my sweet. It has yet to rise. If only we could hurry that along. How would I accomplish such a task? Oh, my foolish little Argonian maid. You must use your hands. You wish me to knead the loaf here, of course. Don't come in here while I'm reading this book, please.
This is so good.
Okay, I'll be a nerd.
I'm just letting you know.
I'm reading. Just go. I'm reading. But what if the mistress catches us? Your loaf was meant to satisfy her appetite. Don't fret, my delicate flower. I'll satisfy the mistress' cravings later. Very well, but I'm afraid my oven isn't hot enough. It could take hours. Plenty of time, my sweet, plenty of time. In Act 7, Scene 2. That's done. We're done. It's been done. We did it. We did it. I'm going to give those both do not touch out of 10. That's the score. That's the score. Hannah? Yeah? Can you get me a little bit of that spaghetti, please? We're done reading it. It's over. I did it. We're done. That is not a 10 out of 10, man. That's not... I'm sorry. That's not a 10 out of 10. It's a meme. We're done. We did it. It's finished. We don't have to do it ever again. Okay. What's next? I think we should read The Kolben the Dragon. This is supposedly a choose-your-own-adventure story in Skyrim? That's pretty cool. It's like, you know those old choose-your-own-adventure books? We're not going to talk about what I just read anymore. I didn't see a Volume 3. If there's a Volume 3, we'll save it for next time, okay? Yes, that's it. That's literally it. That's all of that book. The book that's so famous that everyone talks about, that's it. That's all that there is. It's just like 4 pages.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Bomb.com.
Thank you very, very much.
I am
Hi there, sweetie.
You want to get like a big scoop?
I'll eat some in a minute. I don't want to eat in front of the mic a lot, so. It is very good.
Hello.
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 Come on, girlfriend.
Hi.
Come on, Jenna.
Say hi.
Hi.
Okay.
Come on. Let's get out.
Okay. I'm just gonna read a few more for today, probably.
Yeah, no, shut the door.
All right. We're back. Sorry. So, now we're going to be doing The Kolb and the Dragon. This is supposedly a choose-your-own-adventure story. People said it's very good. People said it's an RPG inside of an RPG. You know, can't go wrong there. It's RPGception. I'm taking my headphones out. Why do I have my headphones on? I don't need my headphones. I don't need these on right now. Okay. Ugh. People are going to record me reading The Lust Argonian Maid. Dude, I don't doubt it. Okay, let's do this. An adventure for heroes. Is that what I said? Kolb and the Dragon, an adventure of Nord heroes. Reread The Maid. No. I will never read The Maid ever again. I will never read that story as long as I live ever again. Okay. Kolb was a brave Nord warrior. One day, this thief asked Kolb to... Oh, Kolb was a... I thought that said I at the very top, but that's one. My bad. I thought that was like I. Kolb was a brave Nord warrior. One day, his thief asked Kolb to slay an evil dragon that threatened their village. Go through the mountains past, Kolb, his chief said. You will find the dragon on the other side. Turn to page 2. Kolb took his favorite axe and shield and walked to the pass, where he found a cold cave, a windy cave, and a narrow trail. What do we do? Okay, let's go the narrow trail, page 12. Okay. Kolb remembered a story his gran told him and tossed 2 gold chits for the ghost, and it faded away. Wait, what? Oh, that's 10. My bad. Climbing up, Kolb found a camp. He met a wise man who shared bread and showed him a path to the dragon's lair. One went through the hill, the other went through the marsh. I think the hill is the safer one, but I feel like they're trying to trick us. Let's do the marsh. 5. Okay. Treading through the marsh, Kolb discovered a wailing ghost blocking his path. We already seen the answer. It's give gold. 10. I didn't mean to see the answer to that one. Kolb remembered a story his gran told him and tossed 2 gold chits to the ghost, and it faded away, allowing him to pass. Turn to page 7. Leaving the marsh behind him, Kolb could see the dragon's lair nearby, as well as a small welcoming tavern. Let's go to the tavern first. 14. Oh no. Kolb stopped at the tavern to rest before fighting the dragon. High elves ran the tavern, however, and poisoned his mead so they could steal his gold. Well, game over. Let's do the other one. Right there, 16. 16 is to the lair. Let's go ahead and go to the lair. I thought they was good. That they were tricking us. I thought they were saying like if we go to the lair, it'd be going too fast. Okay. Kolb found the lair where the dragon slept. Tendrils of smoke wafted from its nostrils. The air made Kolb's eyes sting, and he nearly slipped on the bones of men picked clean. The beast lay on its side. The throat and belly were waiting targets. Let's go for the neck. No, that's by its head. Let's go for the belly. Let's play it safe. That was not right. Kolb crept towards the belly of the beast, but no sooner had he taken his eye off the head of the beast than it snapped him out and ate him whole, axe and all. Okay, we lost. Okay, that's 2 game overs. Page 6 is go for the neck. Okay, we're going for the neck. Come on, Kolb, you can do this. The head of the axe lodged itself in the tough, scaly neck of the beast. It wailed and thrashed, and Kolb held on and eventually sawed through the neck, killing the beast. Kolb returned home victorious, and his village was never bothered by the dragon again. To be honest, the story wasn't that good for a I know it's a choose your own adventure story in Skyrim, which is pretty cool. That's pretty cool as a concept, but the story, there's so much better choose your own adventure stories. Like, I've read so many better choose your own adventure stories than this one. But for what it is, that's like a 7, right? That's what I give it. It's like a 7. I mean, okay, maybe I'm being a little too harsh. Let's give it a 7.5, right? Like like I've read way better choose your own adventure stories, but because it's a choose your own adventure story in Skyrim, you know what I mean? Because it's like in Skyrim, I give it like a 7.5. It's pretty good. It's pretty entertaining. You know, it kept me wanting to play it, which is a huge good thing. All right. Sorry, I had to take a bite of my food. I'm starving. It's past dinner time here, and I'm very hungry. My wife cooked while I was reading books, and I got really hungry. I'm trying to keep it quiet. That's why I got a plastic fork, so I don't make a lot of noise. All right, so, dude, there's not even a volume 3 of the Lust Argonian made. We'll do that next time, all right? Okay. Yeah, it's still cool. It's generic, but it's cool. You're right, Clark. It's very generic, but it's cool for what it is. So I gave it a 7.5. It's a very cool concept for the game. So, what's the next one next? I think we can read 1 or 2 more today. We don't have many left in here, actually. Now, I know Beggar is very good. People say Beggar is amazing, but I'm assuming it's very long. I heard Paula is actually really good, too. Let me see what else I have saved on my phone to see if there's anything more entertaining we can end it on. Oh, there's the children one, which is the no, I don't quite know what to end it on. I think we can start with Beggar. But no, let's do the Cake and the Diamond. That's a good one. Cake and the Diamond. I heard it's really good. Because I want to read Beggar, Thief, Warrior, King, all back to back. And I would like to do that the next stream. Start it off by reading those 4 books. And today we can just end it off by reading The Cake and the Diamond, which I heard is very good. Sorry, I had to take another bite. Okay, The Cake and the Diamond. Ready for this? All right. By the way, do you guys like this? Is this entertaining enough? I mean, I know it's not me playing the game technically, but I want to rank all the books in Skyrim from worst to best. That means I got to read them all. That means I got to read all the books in Skyrim, and there's a lot to read, and I would rather do it this way than sit in here quietly and read it to myself, because then that's very sad. So I just thought this was a sort of roundabout way of doing it to where I would actually be willing to do it. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a minute. Okay. Oh, who's this by? Author? The Cake and the Diamond by Athen Muad'Dib. Okay. Clear my throat. I was in the rat and the pot of a foreigner corner club in Aldron, okay, talking to my fellow rats when I first saw the woman. Now, Breton women are fairly common in the rat and the pot. As a breed, they seem sorry, man, I'm losing it. Inclined to wander far from their perches in High Rock. Dude, I think my brain is shut off. I think my brain legitimately shut off there. I'm sorry. Okay. Get centered again. Come on. Breathe. Old Breton women, however, are not so migratory. Oh, that means migratory. And the wizened old biddy drew attention to herself. Okay. Wandering about the room, talking to everyone. Ninloth and Odiad were at their usual places, drinking their usual stuff. Odiad was showing off a prize he had picked up in some illicit manner. A colossal diamond, large as a baby's hand, and clear as spring water. I was admiring it when I heard the creaking of old bones behind me. "Good day to you, friends," said the old woman. "My name is Abel Chiridite, and I am in need of financial assistance to facilitate my transportation to aid Redania. You'll want to see the temple for charity, said Nimloth curtly. I am not looking for charity, said Abel. I'm looking to barter services. Don't make me sick, old woman, laughed Odiad. Did you say your name was Abel Chariad? I asked. Are you related to Abel Chariad, the High Rock alchemist? Closely related, she said, with a cackle. We are the same person. Perhaps I could prepare you a potion in exchange for gold. I noticed that you have in your possession a very fine diamond. The magical quality of diamonds are boundless. Sorry, old woman, I ain't giving it up for magic. It was trouble enough stealing it. So I'm stealing this one, said Odiad. These names suck. These names suck so hard. I've got a fence who will trade it for gold. But your fence will demand a certain percentage, will he not? What if I could give you a potion of invisibility in exchange? In return for the diamond, you could have the means to steal many more. A very fair exchange of services, I would say. It would be, and I have no gold to give you, said Odiad. I'll take what remains of the diamond after I've made the potion, said Abel. If you took it to the Mages Guild, you'd have to supply all the other ingredients and pay for it as well. But I learned my craft in the wild, where no potion makers existed to dissolve diamonds into dust. When you must do it all by hand, by simple skill, you are blessed with remnants those full potion makers at the guild simply swallow up. That sounds all very nice, said Nimloth, but how do we know your potion is going to work? Oh my gosh, I hate this, man. My eyes have dried up. My contacts have given up on me. Hello and goodbye. All right, see you later, man. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna give my eyes a break for a second. If you make one potion, take the rest to Odiad's diamond and leave. We won't know until you've gone whether the potion works or not. Trust is so rare these days, said Abel. I suppose I could make 2 potions for you, and there'd still be a little bit of diamond left for me. Not a lot, but perhaps enough to get me to aid Redinia. Then you could try the first potion right here and now and see if you're satisfied or not. But I interjected. You could make one potion that works and one potion that doesn't, and take more of the diamond. She could even give you a slow-acting potion, and by the time she got to aid whatever, you'd be dead. Bleeding, Keenarath. You Dunmer are suspicious. I will hardly have any diamond left, and I could make 2 potions and 2 doses each. So you can satisfy yourselves with the potion that the potion works and has no negative effect. If you still don't trust me, come along with me to my table and witness my craft if you'd like. So it was decided that I would accompany Abel back to her table where she had all the traveling bags full of herbs and minerals to make certain that she was not making 2 different potions. It took me nearly an hour of preparations, but she kindly allowed me to finish her half-filled flagon of wine while I watched her work. Splintering the diamond and powder the pieces required in a bulk of time, over and over again she waved her gnarled hands over the gem, intoning ancient enchantments, breaking the facets of the stone into smaller and smaller pieces. Separately, she made pastes of minced bitter green, crushed red bulbs of Delaro spy, and driblets of Kikilian oil. I finished the wine. Old woman, I finally said with a sigh, how much longer is this going to take? I'm getting tired of watching you work. The Mages Guild has fooled the pulpless into thinking alchemy is a science, she said. But if you're tired, rest your eyes. My eyes closed seemingly on their own volition. But there had been something in that wine, something that made me do what she asked. I think I'll make up the potion as cakes. It's much more potent that way. Now tell me, young man, what will your friends do once I give them the potion? Mug you in the streets afterwards to retrieve the rest of the diamond, I said simply. I don't want to tell the truth, but there it was. I thought so, but I wanted to be certain. You may open your eyes now. I opened my eyes. Abel had made a small presentation on a wooden platter, two small cakes, and a silver cutting knife. Pick up the cakes and bring them to the table, said Abel, and don't say anything except to agree with whatever I say. What is that? Okay, pick up the cakes and bring them to the table, said Abel, and don't say anything except to agree with whatever I say. Okay. Sorry, I got confused there. I did as I was told. It was a certain sensation. I didn't really mind being her puppet. Of course, in retrospect, I resent it, but it seemed perfectly normal at the time, and I obeyed without question. Abel handed me the cakes, and Odid and I dutifully verified that both cakes were made of the same way. She suggested that he cut one of the cakes in half, and she would take one piece, and he'd take the other. Just so he would know that they worked and weren't poisoned. Odin did it. Odin thought it was such a good idea and used Abel's knife to cut through the cake. Abel took the piece on the left and popped it in her mouth. Odin took the piece on the right and swallowed it more cautiously. Abel and all the bags she was carrying vanished, and from sight almost immediately. Nothing happened to Odin. Why did it work for the witch and not for me? Cried Odin. Because the diamond's dust was just only on the left-hand side of the blade. Oh, said the old alchemist through me. I felt her controls lessening as the distance grew, and she hurried invisibly down the dark Aldrine streets, away from the rat in the pot. We never found Abel Chariot or the diamond. Whether she completed her pilgrimage to aid is anyone's guess. The cake had no effect except to give Odin a bad case of droops and lasted for nearly a week. Bro, that's like a 6. It's like a 6.5. Holy crap, I nearly freaking died halfway through there. It was like a 6.5, right? It was nothing. It was nothing great. She just tricked them, right? She just tricked them and got away scot-free. The cake and the diamond. That's like a 6.5, right? Let me write it down real fast so I can keep track. It's like a 6.5. I feel comfortable with like a 6.5. I think we're going to end it there. Next stream, we're going to start with The Beggar, Thief, Warrior, and King. These are books that I heard are probably the best in the entire game. And we're going to start with them next time. You just have to read them back to back because they're one continuous story. So you can't just read one and then give up and come back later. So we're going to read them all back to back starting next stream. Whew. So yeah, I'm tired, but we're here. We did it. I know it's only an hour and a half, but my throat really can't take anymore because I'm reading them all out loud. And talking nonstop for an hour and a half, speaking very fast, have made my throat give up on me entirely. Thank you all so much for sticking this far in. I really appreciate it. I know this is different, but we made it. Thank you very much. I hope all you guys have a great day. It's the rest of the great night. Sorry, dude. I'm out. Dude, my eyes are killing me. All right. Next time I'll probably wear my glasses so my eyes aren't killing me as bad. Anyways, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you staying around this long. I had fun. I had fun reading them. Some of them were really good. Thanks, guys.